Well, is it time to visit Spokane and
I think so. Yeah, let's switch it around. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go back.
yeah,
It's okay.
get
That's
off the other subject for a minute. Well, this occurred in 1955. We were living stationed at Fairchild Air Force Base outside of Spokane, Washington. I was one of 2 helicopter pilots assigned, but I flew everything they had there, every opportunity. I was a second lieutenant and just wanted to do a lot of flying. So this occurred. It was a Friday when one of our airplanes, a twin-engine C-47, came in from Colorado Springs, Colorado, with a cargo on board, but couldn't land at Fairchild because of weather. We'd had a snowstorm for at least a couple of days, but was able to land at a civilian commercial airport about 10 miles away because the weather there, because of a lower elevation, was okay for landing. Anyway, the crew left it there except 2 mechanics stayed with it. So the following morning, which was a Saturday, I was called and asked to fly co-pilot for a major. I was a second lieutenant. Pick up the airplane at this civilian airport, Geiger Field, and bring it home to Fairchild. So I met the pilot there. It was still snowing. We still had really a bad snowstorm. So we had to file an instrument flight plan because of the weather, and that meant going out to a navigation fix and then getting a radar approach to Fairchild. We checked all the forms. They indicated plenty of fuel. The fuel gauges indicated, I'll never forget, 240 gallons, and off we took. Just as we broke ground, the right engine started failing. So we switched fuel tanks, and that was okay. But we began to wonder what was going on. We got to the navigation fix and picked up a radar approach to Fairchild. On that approach, both engine fuel pressures were going crazy. The mechanic who'd been with the airplane the night before started switching fuel tanks and announced to us he had not fueled the airplane the night before.
no gas.
So we made the approach, got to minimum altitude, couldn't see the runway, declared an emergency, and got a vector back to where we had left, Geiger Field. But en route, both engines failed. We were out of fuel. And briefly, there was an opening below us in the clouds, and the pilot just dove through that. We touched down, going about 120 miles an hour through fences and through the fields and so on. Anyway, somehow the local radio station got wind of this accident and this crash and announced it. So Mary was at home and heard it on the radio, and knew full well that it was
I said,
me.
that's smart. I knew
The
it.
other helicopter pilot called the house looking for me. He said, we got a crash. We can go rescue somebody. We're looking for business wherever we could get it.
Right.
But she said in so many words, well, he's already there.
I said he's there. And then I called base ops to confirm my thoughts. And they said, we can't tell you anything. So then I called a good friend down the street, John
Well,
Norton.
anyway, they confirmed that I was on the
And
airplane,
he
but I
was,
was okay.
John found out.
So all of this is leading up to the punchline. When I got home, she said to me, she said, when you knew you were going to crash, did you say a prayer? I said, yep. As soon as we were about to hit the ground, I covered my eyes and said, son of a bitch.
How naive I was. Quite a prayer.
You'll find in accident investigations, the last words from the cockpit are pretty much the same.
And then everybody's just trying to get out, and Mark says, there's no fuel. There won't be a fire.
Wow.
That was a big adventure.
How old were you, Dad?
23 or 4 or something.
No, not even that old.
Oh, wow.
That's young.
Yeah.
And you ended up knocking on the door of a farmhouse out there.
Well, it was snowing like the devil, and I could see in the haze, at low visibility, there was a house over there, obviously a farmhouse. I ran as best I could through the snow, knocked on the door. They hadn't heard anything, of course. There were
No.
no engines running.
Oh, right. They were shocked to have this guy in uniform.
So they opened the door, and here's this,
Farmer.
person out of the mist,
It was around noontime.
out of breath, trying to explain that there's an airplane in your backyard.
And he didn't have a telephone. So I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
they had to go by pickup truck or whatever to the sheriff, get in touch with the sheriff, and then they showed up and all that. But the airplane was
Wow.
wrecked, obviously. One of the propellers, because we hadn't feathered the propellers, they were still turning. One of them came through the fuselage behind the cockpit, and one of the mechanics, and there were two mechanics, one of them suffered a concussion,
But they were
other than
okay.
that,
They
we're-
survived.
the
Okay.
pilot did a terrific job of getting it down.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, it wasn't going anywhere but down, but
Right. So he brought it down.
he brought it down without
Right.
killing us.